Hi world, it's about 20 to 2 in the afternoon on Saturday the 8th of October 2022. It's full moon in about 31 hours time. It's going to be full moon in Aries. Now, whilst this is not a significant full moon in terms of world events, we're going to get a pretty good light show. If you go out tomorrow evening in about what time's the full moon? The full moon's at 4 minutes to 10 UK time. So about 32 hours from the time I'm recording this. If you're able to see the full moon tomorrow night, you should see Jupiter just to its right. If you hold your fingers out like that, then that's the distance between the moon and Jupiter. If you hold your hands out at a distance, approximately. And Jupiter is at its closest to Earth now than it's been for 50 years. And it's really bright. There's some fantastic pictures on the web of Jupiter, both in terms of amateur astronomers and the latest pictures from the James Webb. It's spectacular. It's a nice full moon. But a few of you have written to me and said, okay, so what about the moons that are coming up? Because there's a couple of eclipses coming. Now, there is going to be an eclipse on the 25th of October. It's the new moon after this full moon. The sun and moon will be in the same place in the sky, both in terms of longitude, as they are every month, and latitude, as they are once every 2.5 years on average. So we're going to get a 90%, well, it's not going to be a 90%, it's going to be more 86% eclipse of the moon, of the sun at total, at the closest point. But it's not going to affect that many people. It's actually not that big a deal. The eclipse of the sun will be at 2 degrees 0 of Scorpio. It'll be very strongly conjunct Venus, so we'll have the sun, moon and Venus together at the start of Scorpio. So those people born in the first 2 or 3 days of Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius and Leo, well, yeah, you need to be a little bit cautious because all eclipses of the sun can be seen as a little bit itchy and scratchy, a little bit risky. You don't want to go driving too fast on a total eclipse of the sun or a near total eclipse of the sun. You just don't. You don't take silly chances. But it's not going to affect that many people. Instead, I see the eclipse of the sun on the 25th of October as something that's going to affect the world more than individuals. Now, many places aren't going to see it. Most places in the world won't see it at all. The sun will be 25% obscured over Dublin and Glasgow and London and Paris and Rome and Egypt and down to the bottom of the Gulf and then across to Mumbai. The sun will be 50% obscured over Oslo and Warsaw and Beirut and the northern parts of the Gulf and into northern India. The sun will be 60% obscured over Ukraine. It will be 75% obscured over Russia, just to the east of Russia. It'll be 80% obscured over central Russia, over the Urals. And because this eclipse is in Scorpio, which is after all the Russian, I consider Russia to be a Scorpio nation, because it's very close over Moscow at its strongest, and it's pretty damning big over Ukraine as well, I can't help feel that we're heading into a decisive point on the Ukraine-Russia conflict. I do expect some type of big shift. Now, in the recent weeks, days and weeks, it seems as if the Russian invasion has stymied, and it seems as if Ukraine is reclaiming territory. It seems on the surface that Russia's in a bit of trouble trying to conscript people and with a bit of internal resistance to this. It also seems that Putin, from his horoscope, is increasingly finding himself being pushed into corners. More on that another time. I still think he's going to be around for another month or two. But I do think he's going to come really closely under the microscope the more you get into November and December. I expect changes around this eclipse. But the eclipse after this is much more significant. There is a total eclipse of the moon on, what day is it? It's going to be on the 8th of November. That's a Tuesday. It's going to be at about midday UK time. So when I'm looking at this eclipse, then I'm actually seeing a lot more significant stuff around personal charts. This eclipse is going to be particularly affecting those people born around the middle of Leo, Taurus, Scorpio and Aquarius. So just for the dates, those people born around the 7th, 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th of November, 8th, 9th, 10th of August, the 7th, the 8th, 9th, 10th of August, the 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th of, no, got that wrong, 4th, 5th, 6th of February. And for those Taurians who are going to be affected, it's going to be the 6th, 7th, 8th of May. The total eclipse of the moon will be visible at its strongest, I suggest, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And many people in the Pacific Rim countries, i.e. Eastern Australia, Philippines, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, and perhaps the west coast of North America should, certainly the Hawaiian chain, should get a good influence. But the eclipse is at its strongest over Central Europe. The eclipse is exactly on the midheaven over Oslo, capital of Norway, over Berlin, over the border of Austria and Switzerland, and then down towards Rome and Florence. This is quite a big eclipse. The reason it's so big is because at the moment of eclipse, the sun will be at 16 degrees 01 of Scorpio. The moon will be at 16 degrees 01 of Taurus. And Uranus will be at 1656 retrograde of Taurus. So the eclipse moon will be basically right on top of Uranus. Not precise, but about 1 in 400, which is as near damn precise as you're going to get. The sun's going to be opposite Uranus. Uranus is the change bringer. Change can be disruptive, chaotic, dramatic, sudden and unpredictable. It can pull the rug from underneath your feet and send everything spinning. It can also bring independence, freedom and liberty with words like novelty, stimulus, originality, futurism and adventure. Uranus is unpredictable. You can never quite say which way it's going to develop. Note that Uranus, unlike all the other planets spin like that. Uranus spins like that. It's different. Even some of its moons go the other way round instead of the normal way round. Everything about it is different. So I can't help but feel that this 8th of November eclipse of the moon is actually a pretty dodgy one for a lot of people. And there's going to be a heightened sense of anticipation, expectation, as if something is brewing, something's going to happen. When you look at the full moon immediately after this, the full moon on the 8th of December, this will be taking place at 2021 degrees, check my figures, this will be taking place at sorry, 16 degrees of Gemini, and this will be taking place on the 8th of December. And on the 8th of December, Mars is going to be retrograde at 16 degrees of Gemini. So this eclipse, the full moon on the 8th of December will be on top of Mars. So 8th of November full moon, total eclipse on top of Uranus. 8th of December full moon on top of Mars. Mars and Uranus are the two most spontaneous and perhaps warlike, or at least confrontational planets in the zodiac. I expect around the world the media and the social media, the professional media, to be more and more of a kind of anticipatory thing. There's going to be a lot of hype and spin. It's like, oh my God, we've all got to worry, the world's going to end, it's all that. It's not. Things like this have happened before. But there is going to be a lot of concern and a lot of worry. And I'm a bit worried about this. So regarding these next few full moons, I want to get us through to mid-December. Once we're into mid-December, I'm going to breathe a big sigh of relief. From then on, things really do start smoothing away. And by then, also as an added bonus, the Saturn-Uranus square, which has been around for nearly 2 years and is basically as strong as it gets just in this last week, will be finally and permanently finished. I'm suggesting we're going to see a big downturn in gravity, seriousness and pressure by the time we're into mid-December. 9 weeks. But let's get there, shall we? Till then. Keep smiling. Catch you later, world. Bye.